Hello everyone, my name is Enoch, and today I want to talk about why I can't understand not only that Christianity is true, but how it could be true. And I'm going to give some explanation. So, the God of Christianity and the God of the Bible is portrayed as a God of love, a God of justice, but also a God who wants a personal relationship with people, who wants people to know him, and as it says in the Bible, wants everyone to come to the knowledge of salvation and turn from their sins and be saved, essentially. But there's a number of problems that I see with this. So first of all, let's take there is a God of love and justice. Now, I talked about this issue a lot in my video called Let's Talk About Hell. So if you haven't seen that, that will go into like further detail. But basically, all of the reasons that people go to hell, in my mind, is so unjust and so unloving. I don't understand how it's possible that a loving God of justice could send people to hell for those reasons. And like I said, I go into further detail in my video called Let's Talk About Hell. So if you're interested, you can go watch that one. And then also the problem of God wants everyone to be saved and he wants everyone to know him. But there are so many people that don't know that God exists, or they don't believe that God exists, and he doesn't do anything to show them that. It seems completely contradictory. It's like, okay, there's a God who wants them to know he exists, but he doesn't do anything to show them that. They are going through their lives and just living their life, and maybe they're not thinking about God. They're just not. They just don't care because it's not relevant to them. Or there's lots of people like me who are genuinely not convinced that a God exists, but if he did, would want to know that more than anything else really in the world. There's nothing I can think of that would be more important. But for people in my camp and people in the former camp, God doesn't do anything to show them that. And so it seems impossible that, there's a God that wants people to know he exists, and in order to put your faith in him and to surrender your life to Jesus and whatever, you have to believe that God exists. So if you don't think he exists, you can't be saved. And since God wants everyone to be saved and he wants everyone to know him and come to the knowledge of the truth, as it says in the Bible, this seems 100% contradictory, and I don't see any solution to the issue. And then also, there's the third issue, which is kind of the biggest in my mind, is the God of Christianity is supposedly a God who wants a personal relationship with people. So we have a God who wants personal relationship, but for people like me and for many, many others, he won't even so much as say hi. He won't do anything. Imagine if I told you there was this girl that I really liked, and I wanted to have a relationship with her, and I wanted her to notice me and be love me and whatever. And at some point, like, someone had given her my number, but every time she texted or called, I never responded. Anytime she tried to find me or whatever, I never let her. I always hid and dodged and all this stuff. And every time, she tried to reach out, I ignored her. And I never texted her, I never talked to her, but then I got mad because I'm telling other people oh man, or not maybe mad, but sad, I really want a relationship with this girl. And then they ask me what happens when I talk to her and stuff, and I just tell them, I don't talk to her, she texts me and stuff, I never respond because I just don't, for whatever reason. You would think I'm the stupidest person ever, but for some reason God can do this, and it's totally okay. It's totally acceptable when people seek after God and absolutely nothing happens. and they get absolutely zero response, it's so ludicrous. It's like, if you want a relationship with someone, you have to talk to them. You cannot ignore someone and then claim you want a relationship with them. That's crazy. And I think anyone would like recognize that's crazy, except for when it comes to God. It's like, oh no, you don't hear from God, whatever. Anytime that happens, oh, it's always, well, it's your fault because you're not listening or something. I mean, it's just how we would never use this logic in any other area of life or any other relationship. It's only because we have an unfalsifiable God that we already believe in and believe can't be wrong about, that we just have to make up these insane excuses. So this whole thing of like, well, you're not listening to God and that's why you don't hear him. Imagine a mom and her like 2-year-old son are outside in front of a house by the road, Reverend. The boy is like playing with a ball and with like a dog or something, and the mom's like reading a book, and the kid keeps getting closer to the road or whatever, and the mom whispers under her breath, "Hey, Jeremy, stop getting so close to the road," as she reads her book. But Jeremy didn't hear her, or maybe he was older than 2, let's say like 5. So he didn't hear, of course, because, she just whispered under her breath, and he's playing with the ball, and the ball goes across the street, says, "Oh," and he runs across the street to go to the ball, and bam, gets hit by a car, and let's say Jeremy doesn't make it. And when the mom reports to the police like, "Why in the world didn't you stop your son from, being so close to the road?" And mom goes, "Well, I told him. He wasn't listening. It's not my fault. He didn't want to listen." No, actually, Jeremy didn't hear you. And in that case, I think everyone would agree the mom is 100% in the wrong. But when it comes to God, all of a sudden, it's totally excusable. All of a sudden, oh no, it's not God's fault. It's your fault. And it's just like, stop and think about it. You would never use this logic in any other relationship. It would be seen for what it is. Ridiculous. But you have to use these excuses for God. And this is why I don't see how Christianity can be true, because if a God of love existed who wanted a personal relationship, it's impossible that he would do absolutely nothing to reach out to you, 100% ignore someone, and then send them to hell to burn for not believing in him when he does nothing but pretend like he doesn't exist. And to me, I don't understand how Christianity could be true when that is the reality that I currently live in. Now, I admit I have a limited brain. I don't know everything, and I could be wrong. Maybe it's still true somehow, some way. I just don't see how it could be. It'd be like saying I drew a circle full of colors and it's also a square. So like, I'm not going to believe that you did this, first of all, and I'm also not going to believe that what you just said is possible, because a circle can't be a square. So and that's kind of how I feel about the Christian God, in the sense that like a loving, just God can't pretend like he doesn't exist, claim he wants a personal relationship with people, 100% ignore them, not do anything to show them that he's real, and they can't choose to believe because they're just genuinely not convinced, and then send them to burn in hell and punish them for that. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine how we do it for people that aren't seeking him, because why is someone obligated to seek someone they don't think exists? But beyond that, it doesn't even happen for people that seek him, like me. All my seeking, all my searching, I've gotten nothing from God. So I don't understand how Christianity could be true. And maybe in the future, some solutions will come up. But for now, not only do I not believe it's true, I don't see how it could be.